The shelves here at Hunger Inc. have just about anything a family would need, including canned meats and fruits. But now the people who run this pantry say they're not sure how much longer they'll be able to stock some of these items. If we head to northwest Indiana, we have almost exactly the opposite pattern. Let's look at Lake County, longtime Democratic stronghold in the Chicago metro area. And we saw you taping off the box, and we were looking at these markings earlier, wondering how they work. So tell us what exactly these markings are all about. They have determined the state will get $2.4 billion less in revenue through the end of the 2027 budget year than they originally forecast back in December. That's going to have major implications for the state's budget, which is currently entering final negotiations. Braun's most recent statement indicated that he would sign this proposal if it stays in its current form and gets concurred by the Senate. Has he lost any political capital on this? Because his supporters were adamant that they wanted a reset back to 2021 rates. Well, Purdue fans right now are feeling fairly confident. It's a pretty good mix of all four of tonight's Sweet 16 teams here at Tom's Watch Bar downtown. Well, Congressman Andre Carson serves on the House Intelligence Committee, and he used to work in the Indiana Intelligence Fusion Center. He says there is no reason anyone should have been using the Signal app to discuss national security matters. But it's not just American students that have been demonstrating in support of Palestinians. We've seen protests all over the world in recent days, including in France and Australia. This is footage from demonstrations at Trinity College in Dublin, Ireland. Gina, Jonah Jacobs lives with Duchenne muscular dystrophy. He tells me the Family and Social Services Administration already has taken months to review whether it will cover his medical equipment. Now he and his mother say they're afraid they're about to lose it all.
Why? It's a piece of plastic.
It is what it is.
Jonah just found out how much this broken mud flap from his wheelchair will cost. More than $1,300.
These are batteries. You can hear it back there. Those are his batteries. Any water that gets in there will completely fry this wheelchair.
Jonah's used a wheelchair since he was 16. He's 24 now.
I require 24/7 assistance from people. I have to make sure I take my medicine, because if I don't remember to take certain medicines, it can kill me. I have to do extra steps to do basic things like use the bathroom, go eat.
That requires very specialized and very expensive equipment. This lift costs $5,000.
I need this to get in and out of bed, on and off the toilet, back in and back out of my wheelchair, to even go to the floor if I need to stretch out and stuff. And it is falling apart.
But he's been waiting since December to find out whether they'll cover it, or a new wheelchair, or even his ongoing physical therapy or medications. Jonah's mother, Pam, cares for him around the clock.
It costs a lot less for me to take care of my son than sending him away. A whole lot less. And he's happier and more stable and gets the best care he can get.
Pam says their only sources of income are Medicaid and whatever she can make by selling homemade crafts. Indiana's new Medicaid work requirements include an exemption for parents providing for a person with a serious medical condition or disability. But Pam worries she'll lose access anyway. She says the FSSA is very slow to respond to her follow-ups.
We don't know if we're going to pay rent next month. We don't know if I'm going to pay the phone bill, when it's due again. We don't know any of that. Because once it stops, it's going to take everything.
ARC of Indiana's Kim Dodson says she's fielding more and more calls from worried families like Jonah's. Her organization advocates for people with disabilities.
A delay is very common that we're seeing right now for people, and it's really putting forward a lot of anxiety to people who are just trying to live their lives.
Dodson says the mandatory 5% spending cuts at all state agencies mean the FSSA might not have enough caseworkers to review cases like Jonah's.
I think we are, potentially going down a path where that's going to become harder and harder, and that could potentially lead to institutionalization for people with disabilities.
The FSSA tells me the work requirements in SEA 2 have not gone into effect, and Medicaid determination would be based on the requirements in any federal legislation passed and SEA 2. There are a number of exemptions at both the federal and state level, and each individual's situation would need to be evaluated to determine if any work requirements would apply to them. They would not make anyone available for an on-camera interview. Pam says Jonah could lose his Medicaid benefits at any time. In the end, that could cost him his life.
For a wheelchair person, that's not good at all. And because I'm basically don't have medication, I'm dead in a month. I have a month to live.
I have to go to work.
Yeah, and she has to go to work, which won't be worth it because in a month I'll be dead.
Medicaid advocates say keep following up with the FSSA to ensure they have all of your information. I'm Garrett Bergquist for Wish TV and WishTV.com.
Nice, nice. So what color is this?
Brandon Schaefer has about 35 kids in his pre-K classes at any given time. He says about 3/4 of them are here thanks to On My Way Pre-K.
We don't just babysit, so what I'd say is, we have a structured curriculum, a structured schedule, and we try to get the kids ready for pre-K. For kindergarten, I'll say.
Beginning with the upcoming school year, state lawmakers have limited On My Way Pre-K enrollment to 2,500 children. That's down from 6,000. The income limit has been lowered to $45,000 per year for a family of 4. And you can no longer combine On My Way Pre-K vouchers with Child Care Development Fund vouchers. That reduces the amount of subsidy you can get to pay for pre-K.
On a weekly basis, we see at least 5 to 8 new families come in, and lately, maybe 2 to 3, maybe. So that's at least half now.
Governor Mike Braun and state lawmakers made those cuts at the end of the legislative session. State economists project Indiana will lose $2.4 billion in tax revenue over the next 2 years.
We knew we had to do something that was going to be more austere when we got that news laid in our lap. Pre-K is a place that, to me, if we don't figure out how to do more of it, we're going to be at a competitive disadvantage.
Tiny little button nose. That's my baby sister.
Schaefer says between dropping enrollment and lower reimbursements, there's a good chance he'll have to lay off some staff.
This is probably the worst area you can cut, because not only do parents have to go to work, like I said before, this is the most important time of our life where we're learning. So this really determines, this pre-K actually determines the rest of our life.
Schaefer says if you want to sign your child up for On My Way Pre-K, go ahead and sign up anyway. That way you can at least get onto a wait list in case anything changes. On the east side, I'm Garrett Bergquist for Wish TV and WishTV.com. The AMR safety team is at every IndyCar race. When one of those crash trucks rolls out, there might be a firefighter from your hometown on board.
Oh, wow, this is bad.
It's noon on the first day of practice. The cars should have been on the track by now. Instead, the AMR safety team is helping to dry the track.
The wind that we generate from the truck helps move the air to dry the track surface. We put the jet dryers out.
Today, Nodine, Brian Cuneo, and Ron Wally are driving the truck called Safety One. Nodine is the fire chief of the South Madison Fire Territory near Pendleton. Cuneo is a Greenfield firefighter paramedic, and Wally is a retired Sugar Creek Township firefighter.
As a firefighter, everybody likes to help people out, but I love racing too, and I think most of the people on our team love racing, so the aspect of being able to do the racing and the fire service is really, really rewarding.
Race day is it's my favorite day of the year. Getting up at 4 o'clock to come to the racetrack and watch the track come to life is a very awesome experience.
Cuneo has been on the team for 8 years. He says much of the job is similar to being a firefighter. The trucks carry rescue and cleanup equipment, and 2 of the trucks each carry a crew leader, a paramedic, and 2 firefighters.
Our structure's kind of the same. We have a boss. Our crew leader here. That's your boss at the fire department. You have a paramedic that, the structure on it, how we operate. Assign responsibilities.
Except they get to do this on a national stage.
You get 5 hours and 58 minutes full of boredom, and in that last minute before a checker flag, somebody hits the wall, and then you got to go to work. So it's it's rewarding. The drivers come up and thank us afterwards.
It makes you pretty proud when you can pull up a video like, hey, that's me, climbing underneath the race car when we had one upside down, just stuff like that. I always say it's my fame, but it's pretty cool that you can say you do this. Not everybody gets to do this.
Wally tells me the team recruits through referrals, and interview committee reviews prospective team members based on qualifications and availability in a particular region where IndyCar races. At Indianapolis Motor Speedway, I'm Garrett Bergquist for Wish TV and WishTV.com.